Eramba uses a single user interface across all its modules. And that means that once you know how to use one module, for the most part, you know how to use all modules. Now, I'll try to explain in this video what are the key components of this user interface. I will be using the policy module, but again, what I'm explaining here applies to any other module. The first thing you need to look at when you load the module is the tabs on the top. Some modules will have more than one tab, as is the case here. I have 2 tabs, and some modules will have one tab. The reason we have tabs is because we have to organize data. For example, here in this tab, you have all your policies. So the name of the policy, the description of the policy, the people involved with the policy, and so on. In this tab in here, we hold the reviews for your policies. You can think of a parent-child relationship. You see, in my reviews, the relationship is the policy, and then you have attributes specific to the review, such as who the reviewers are, or the next review date, and the version of the document, and so on. So you see, the data that you have in the reviews is not necessarily the same data as you have in the policies, and the link in between these two is the name of the policy. So all the time, look at the tabs. No matter whether you are on this tab or the other tab, you always have the same menu on the top. Actions is the place where you add things into the menu, either one by one using a web form or CSV imports. Eramba uses CSV imports for any import into the software. You will have some kind of setting in most modules. And again, this might be specific to the module. In this case, I have things related to the policy portal, but as you can see, in other modules, the settings might be a little bit different. Filters is the way you make questions to Eramba, and the way the filters are run is either through here, selecting it, or creating your own new filter by here. When a filter runs, you get this kind of output, which is a table that you can move around, and you can increase the size, a little bit like a spreadsheet. You can choose which columns you want to see. There's many options in the filter area. You can change how many items you want to see per page. You can export at any time things as CSV, and you can change your filter options in here as well. You will have reporting. There's 2 types of report, item and section reports. Item reports explain an item, and you run them from the item itself. So you're saying, now I want to have the system report for this item, for example. And then you have section reports, which basically means a summarized report of all the items in one report, and is in here. You have notifications. Send me an email 5 days before a policy review. Send me an email when the policy is expired, blah, 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 blah. There's many types of notifications you can send. You can customize the module. You basically customize the form. So with the customizations, you can change the name of the titles, description of the fields. You can hide fields if you want. You can add new tabs, add new fields. You can reorder the fields. Again, you can do many things in here, and you access that through customizations. Statuses is the way Eramba tells you what's going on with your GRC department. And you see that by looking at the first column in here. Statuses are always on the first column. And you see, for example, I can tell that this document here is missing the last review just by looking at the status. There's many statuses, and they are depending on every module, and you can create your own statuses as well. This is an extremely powerful feature that you can use as well across any module. Anytime you delete something, things will go into the trash. Nothing really gets deleted in Eramba permanently. It all goes to the trash. And also you can get to the help module, the functionality that shows you basically the relationships between this module and other modules. Remember, Eramba has a relational database, and that means that many modules talk to each other in many different ways, and this will help you to understand how those relationships work in a bit more detail. Every item in the module has a menu, so you can edit, delete. History will show you the changes that the item went through. Everything has comments and attachments in Eramba. This is how we document the interactions in between ourselves and the organization. As I showed you before, you can launch some reports. And in this case, I have some other options on this module. Most modules will have these options in here, and these ones are specific to the policy module. You also have bulk edits. So if I select all these, I can bulk delete everything. Remember, it will go to the trash, or I can bulk edit the items. When I choose to change a field in the bulk edit, please always remember that you need to tell what you want to do with it. By default, it will leave it as it is, but if you choose to replace, whatever you put in here will be replaced across all items.